Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. My father passed away suddenly and unexpectedly in 1979. He was heading into his bedroom to collapse onto his side and doze. When he struck the little rocking rocker and then the floor, my aunt and I heard the impact. Before he even struck the floor, I could tell by the way he appeared that he was dead. Every morning at 5 o'clock, he would get out of bed, put on his clothes, and then make his way into the living room and the kitchen through the tiny swinging doors. He would approach the chair situated between the kitchen counter and the tiny table, turn on his coffee maker, take a seat and bide his time until the initial cup was ready. The chair always produced a small scraping noise when he drew it out. I briefly stayed in the bedroom at the back, which is only a short hallway away, after the burial. When it first happened, I wasn't sure if it had actually happened or how to respond. I heard footsteps coming from the other side of the house about 5 in the morning, which is when I realized there was someone inside. I stole from under the covers, picked up the flashlight, and made an effort to move stealthily into the living room. I could call the police because there was a telephone there. There was nobody there when I arrived. I surveyed the home. Nobody. Convinced it was only a dream, I turned back to sleep. Since I was also getting sick with the virus, I assumed that I was hallucinating. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 nights later. As I sit here in bed, I hear footsteps. The sound of the kitchen doors swinging reached me as I was getting out of bed. I succeeded in sneaking down the little passageway, turned on the light, but nothing happened. All right, this continued for the remainder of the week, until I eventually simply lay in bed and listened to the noises, at which point things took a horrifying turn. The noise of the table chair being pushed aside was followed by the aroma of coffee being made. There was even the sound of the coffee pot brewing. I just laid in bed, trying not to scream, not knowing what to think. I'll never understand why. After a short while, there was no longer any coffee smell, and there was silence. This continued for 3 evenings. I invited a friend of mine to stay the night over. I explained to him that I needed company while I tried to get over the loss of my father. He concurred. A little after 5 in the morning, he woke me up. He muttered, "Billy, there's someone in the house." After calming him down, I instructed him to wait while sitting on the bed. As expected, we heard the sound of footsteps approaching the kitchen, followed by the scrape of the chair and the potent aroma of coffee brewing. He silently followed me into the kitchen in the dark. Nothing happened when I turned on the light. Neither the chair nor the coffee pot had been turned on. Robert made a swift and determined move the following moment as he dressed and left the bedroom by saying, "I don't know what's going on here and I don't give a fuck, I'm out of here." I entered the kitchen, stood in the center of the floor and yelled, "Dad!" After the visits continued for 2 more days. "This cannot be sustained by you, you're gone. You went a wall, please leave me alone, I miss and adore you. Proceed to the designated location. I can't go through this with you any longer." I then started crying uncontrollably like a baby. That was the end of the visits. Not anymore. I've often wondered if we ever truly recognize that we are dead when our death comes suddenly and horrifyingly. Do we pretend that nothing significant occurred? Is it necessary to tell us that we are dead and that we should move on? I'm not sure how to respond to these inquiries, but I am aware of what happened to me, and I also know that Robert would never go near the place again, and he refused to discuss that morning. And that brings us to the end of today's delightful story. I really hope it had you on the edge of your seat. If you liked this story, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. There's always an exciting surprise waiting just around the corner and you won't want to miss it. Do you have a spooky story to share or a fun idea for our next tale? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what gives you the creeps the most. And as always, take care, keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the most chilling tales are the ones left untold. Catch you in the next one, if you're up for it.